Hi there, I'm Nu-Trix, and today I'm answering a question from a subscriber. Now, if you don't know, I have been doing one-on-one consultation about studio gear, setting up your gear, making it work for like 4 years now. It's something I offer people. We do it online. I look at your gear, look at the manual, and I try to figure out how your objective can be done with the gear that you have, and if it's not possible, I explain you why and what you should be looking at to do what you want to do, or how you should change your vision of how you want to use what you have to get the most of what you have. Sometimes you don't know what it can do, and you might have the wrong gear or whatever. So today, I'm starting this new bit, troubleshooting your studio with you, and I'm starting with guitar guy Will 4157. I'm guessing that's not his real name. And it goes like this. Hey guys, I currently have 3 pieces of gear that I like to use. Okay, 1, the Arturia key step 37, which I have, so we can troubleshoot with this. 2, a Roland JV 1080. I have a 2080 here. So it's the brain of a synthesizer. It's a synth module with MIDI input and output and audio out. So you basically need a controller like this one to control this synthesizer, which is in a rack mount, and then send that to a mixer, sound card, whatever it is that you want to play. So he wants to be able to play it, okay. He also wants to be able to play sounds from Ableton using this. So he has also Ableton, a DAW. He wants to use MIDI in Ableton in his sequencer to sequence the sounds from the JV1080, so to his hardware. And he also has an audio interface. He has the Scarlett, because after that I ask, what do you actually have outside of these 3 things to understand how you want to hook up everything. So the question is, how can a connection, routing, how to make it all work? That's his question. Now, I'm gonna do what I do when I do a one-on-one consultation. I first of all just want to explain how I do it. I basically look at everything that the person has. And then ask what they want to be able to do. So he has everything here. He says he wants to be able to play his hardware from the key step. He wants to be able to use the key step to control the sound from the DAW, and he wants to be able to use the DAW to control the sound from this, which is basically a basic MIDI musical system that you want to be able to set up. And it's not always obvious to understand how to make it work, but also because you have 2 things here. You have a controller, and that's where it might be funky. You have a controller that can work without a computer, and the MIDI out can basically talk to this directly. But if you send it to the computer, then you need to think about how to make the controller then talk to the outside equipment. Now, my next question is, do you have a mixer? So how do you listen to all of this? Because of course I can just patch the JV, put headphones and listen to the JV, but then I won't be able to hear what's playing as a virtual synthesizer from the DAW. I won't be able to hear it. But if I listen only to the computer, then how do I hear this also? So let's break it down. We have a computer running Ableton Live. It doesn't matter if it's a Mac or PC. What we'll look at here can work with any DAW, just the settings in the software will be different, but that's the same logic. We have a sound module, in this case, the JV1080. I've got a 2080, but it can be any sound module that is just the brain of a rack mount synthesizer. You have a MIDI controller. In this case, the MIDI controller has MIDI out, but also has USB out, and also has CV and gate out. So it's a very complete set of controls, and that's where it might be difficult because you might have too much if you don't know how to set it up. So we'll look at this, and we have an audio interface. In this case, I don't have the Scarlett. I have a Roland Rubik's 22, but the logic's the same. The options will be different, but the logic's the same, and we'll look at how to set it up. So the first logic is, I want to play the JV 2080 from the key step. If that's all, let's say we start with the notion that's all you want to be able to do. So then I just need to power up the key station. Let's just patch this in. And basically you attach the USB, so I have some power to this. Now it has power. If I want to be able to play the JV2080, I don't even need the sound card for now. So I have my 2080. I got the keyboard and you go, it doesn't work. Well, I need power for this. Okay, let's go. All here, there's all these cables. So that's where I just go. This, I got power now. If I turn this on, I can see the screen is actually lighting up. Now this one is a cool synth. I have it because I did teach this for years, but this one is actually broken. And it's kind of a sad broken option is that this button, something was dropped on it, and now it doesn't switch here, so I cannot go into performance mode, so it stays into patch mode, which is one sound, which is okay. I think I'm gonna be able to send MIDI to change this. So if I plug the output of this, so basically if I plug the MIDI out straight into MIDI in, I've got in, out, and through. So in is connected and out of this one. So now if I play, you see right away you've got the green light coming in. I've got notes. So there's something playing. So I'm actually playing MIDI stuff. Now I don't hear it because there's nothing patch in the audio out. And the simplest way to make it work is just to put headphones and play it. You hear. So it works. It works. I mean, if the only thing you want to do is this and play, it works. So you go, okay, fine. Now if I want to do this and also send to live, then I'm going to go into the preferences and look at the MIDI preferences. And it shows me everything I've got USB wise. I've got the key step in that is active. When they say track is the track info, so basically notes, MIDI ports. So the in works. If I put any track in, let's say record here, you see I've got MIDI coming in. You need to have your audio interface. The audio interface we use in and out of this. So this becomes two things, your audio in and out and your MIDI in and out. So I'm going to plug the MIDI out of the audio interface. So MIDI out. Remember that this is connected into the MIDI in of the hardware synth. So now if I press this, it doesn't work because I see it, the lights are playing. This is sending MIDI, a USB to the computer. So now if I press here, I see that the MIDI is coming out of the key step. The controller has a USB out, goes into the USB in of the computer. So it's from the key step. It could be from all, but it's easier to control if I have more than one device. If you don't want to have any devices, or if you only have one, if you click all in, every input will work. In my case, I've got many devices and they're all connected. You know, this one also is connected. So if I go only key steps, so I'm controlling that, it's only going to be this one, all channels, so all the channel, I can play anything here, it will answer to it. And I want it to be sent to the Rubik's 22, which is my interface. But it could be, in this case, the Scarlett that he has. But to be able to send, if I put it into off, it goes in the DAW, but it does not reach the hardware device. It does not output because it's not monitoring. This notion of monitor is really important. If you're in auto mode, it means it will switch to listening to the MIDI performance you're sending to it while you're in record ready, and that information, it will be output to the hardware that is connected here. In this case, the Rubik's 22, channel 1, it's this one, channel 1. Now, if I put it into in, so it's always working. So then now, if I turn off the record ready, it's always monitoring the input. So the monitor is listening and let the signal pass of what's coming in. So if I'm not even knowing what I'm doing. If I'm going to press record and I record anything, okay, I don't care. I'm just pressing keys. I just have something. So see, I've got MIDI notes here. I got my notes playing. Now, if I play right now, there's nothing working here because I'm in monitoring mode and I'm monitoring what's coming in, not what's playing back. So if I go back into auto mode and I turn off, if you're in playback mode, now it plays the information because you're in playback. If you go back into record ready, now it goes back into listening to what's coming in. If I go back into stop and play, it switched back to playback. And if I press on top, it combines the two. So you should always be in auto mode when you're doing this. So what it means by now is that this will always be controlled not directly from the keyboard, but it'll be controlled directly through the DAW all the time. Now, if you want to jam, because one of the questions was if I just want to turn on the 2 and play, then you would have to disconnect the output of your Scarlett, your audio interface, and connect it into the MIDI out. And you can play directly without the computer, without the DAW. But then you would have to patch your headphones straight into the JV and play it. Just if you just want to play the keys, that's it. It will work. But then you'll need to repatch it back into the interface when you want to be able to send the MIDI out to the JV using the computer. So using the sequence that you have in your DAW. And remember, a device like the JV1080, or in this case the 2080, can play 16 different sounds, each on the different channel. So you can have channel 1, you can play bass, channel 2, a synth, channel 3, piano, and channel 10, the drum, and you just have the whole band playing right here into your box. That's what these multi-timbral, top of the line from when it came out, were able to do. With just this, you still can have 16 different tracks, each on a different channel, and you would basically change the channel here. That's it. You can change the channel here, here, and you can, and you would have different sound for each of the channel, and you would have to go into the performance mode here and choose a sound for every channel. It works, but now I don't hear it, and now I cannot record it, because right now the only thing I can do is I listen to the output of this thing. It means also that I don't hear what's coming off the computer. Now, of course, I can switch here and listen to the headphone of my interface, but then I don't hear what's coming off the JV. I only hear what's coming out of the DAW, and the DAW does not record sound. It actually records MIDI note only right now. So if I want to add sound to it, I would have to go and add 2 other cables. In the back of the JV, what you have is the main out, main mix, which is stereo. Then you have an audio direct, which is one left and right, and audio direct 2, which is left and right also. So you could have main mix, and you could have, let's say, mono bass, mono lead, and stereo drums. And you can even tell them not to be in the main mix. So we can have basically 6 different mono mix, or a stereo, and 4 mono, and all that stuff. So it depends on what you want to do. This is basically if you want to process them into your favorite DAW processing, let's say in Live, for example. In my case, I only have 2 ends. So I'm going to take my 2 cables, and I'm going to take the mix out to connect these. But you can say that with the fact that he has a Scarlett, which has enough input, he could actually connect the 6 of them. I have to connect the input. The 2 inputs are here. Connect the input here, connect the input here. So these are my 2 inputs. So if I press now, See, I got signal coming in. I've got sound coming in. I can see it, but I don't hear it because it's not yet inside my DAW. Now, if I want to have it inside my DAW, I have to go into audio. Now, I'm going to verify also that configure is configure right. You see now I've got core audio and I want to select the Rubix. Now, I'm on a Mac, so it's going to be core audio, but on PC, I'm going to have ASIO driver or DX driver or MMX, something like that. So you basically have to load the right driver type and load the right device, and then say, also same thing for the output. I want to have Rubix output. And you can go further and go into config and actually activate and say this one's going to be called 1, this is going to be called 2, this is going to be called 1 and 2. And this is how you will see them appear in your list if you have more than one. And you can select the sample and all that stuff. Let's say we keep it just the way it is. I'm going to click here. So now you see that external from audio in, you've got external in. So you want to hear stuff coming in. And you see that now there's a little light coming in here. So 1 or 1 and 2. I want in stereo, 1 and 2. And still have the problem that I don't have anything coming in. It's the same logic. It's the monitoring section here. If you put in auto mode, not working because I'm not in recording mode yet. If we put it into in, now it's working. Okay, I got stuff coming in and I can have sound. Now, you might not hear it because the software works. I'm actually going through all of this. So if I put my headphones, I can say, I hear it. Okay, I hear the signal. Now, if I go into auto mode and I press record, it's in record ready. So now it's actually coming in. No, it's not, because I switched the recording to this one and I stopped recording for this one. So now this one's not in record ready. So the MIDI is not coming in. So you see, this is where it might be difficult to say, oh, okay, I want to send MIDI live. I want to hear this live. It might be easy if you just want to play it and not record, just put it into in. And by doing so, I'm going to put it off for now. And by going into in, without having to put, if I go here. What it means now is that by putting into in mode, I'm going to use it basically for live mixing. So this is just a track that is mixing the signal that is coming from my hardware. And if I have here on this channel, okay, let's say on this second channel here, it's going to be also coming from the key steps. I'll be also coming from channel 1 or all channel, I don't care. And this one's going to have a virtual synthesizer. I don't know. Okay. So now if I press record on this one, I'm actually playing this one. And if I click here, now I'm playing the hardware JV 1080, or in this case 2080. So the hard thing is to think about the fact that your DAW is doing everything mix-wise. It's the device that rechannelizes the MIDI information, and also, in this case, rechannelize the sound signal. So it's a mixer. So you need to learn this as two different devices into one thing. It's the sequencer that is the master chief of what's coming in and out MIDI-wise. So it's easy to switch to this one. Now if I press this, I'm playing the internal virtual synthesizer. If I play this, I'm playing the internal sound of the JB, the hardware device. But to hear that, it has to come back into the interface, and the interface has to be into monitor in. If not, I won't be able to hear it. So then the real question is, how do you want to do it? Because if you say, well, this is way too complicated, so then you might need a mixer in that case. Or a lot of these devices, like this one, you can turn on direct monitoring. So it means you will be able to hear what's coming in without going through the computer. at the back of the device, you have stereo direct monitoring. If I turn this on, and I go back here, I'm going to turn off the monitoring. I'm going to put it off. As I play, I hear it. I hear it because the monitoring is done inside the hardware. I don't even need these tracks anymore. I can turn them off. So now if I press play, I'll be able to hear the virtual synthesizer that are inside the DAW. But if I press here in real time and I play sound from this, I'll be able to hear it straight here without using the audio inputs. So it might be easier. It depends on how comfortable you are with MIDI and audio and how to switch between different modes. You know, switch between I am in jamming mode, or I'm in creating mode, or I'm in recording mode. It might be different modes. You know, you might just create and create and create if you want to record every time. So then you probably going to turn the direct mode off and always use the mixing feature of your DAW and record it as this is good, record, you know, right away. There's not like one single solution. Like everything in a home studio, you're going to have to make a decision of how you want to work. What's your favorite workflow or the most logical and easy one? I prefer to have a setup that I don't have a lot of things to move and repatch and patch everything in a way that I basically have a couple of setup. Remember that you can save the song that you have made for, let's say, jamming. When everything is set the right way, save it as jamming template, you know. Then do another one for live hardware listening. So, okay, that's another one's going to be saved like that. And the next one is recording mode. So this one has all these options. So, and one thing, I said it's hard to switch here and then you lose the monitoring here, but you can actually press on command and activate many of them at the same time. And on the Mac is command on the keyboard. On the PC, I don't know which one is, probably control, or, and as you press it, you just add the other one that you want. So you could still, if you get used to it, it's just, again, get used to the way of working that you find the most logical for your brain, so you don't have to look for it or remember it. In this case, I just activate these two. Now these two work. The MIDI goes through it, and even if it's not, you're not listening, you see that there's audio coming in. Oh, I want to listen to it. I'm going to go press auto. Now I can hear it. And then I would need to turn this direct monitoring off. If not, the sound will be too loud. Is that good? I hope it is. But that's kind of in a nutshell how I would approach it. Different scenarios by questioning how you want to work, how simple you want it or not. I mean, keep it simple. We're there to play music, but I think that it's worth for anybody to learn as much as you can for each of the pieces that you have, and make like one setup that can do many different options depending on what you want to do. So you don't have to patch and repatch. If that happens at one point, if you don't patch it this way for, let's say, 4 months, you might forget how to make it and you just go, and then you're just sad because you don't play music because you don't remember how to make it simple for you. So that's it. If you have any question, put them below. I'll try to make it clear. I already have questions for the next month, but I'll put your question about studio setup, question about hardware, how to make it work the way you think. If I have an option, if I have scenarios how to make it work, I'll make a video about it when I can. That's it. Stay safe, make more music, and see you soon. Cheers.